Pope Francis will wrap up his trip to the United States in Philadelphia this weekend. He leaves New York City tomorrow after making quite a lasting impression. The pontiff's day included some strong words at the United Nations, followed by a moving ceremony at the 9/11 memorial. After a parade through Central Park, he finished tonight with an evening mass in front of 20,000 people at Madison Square Garden. NBC's Chris Pollone has our top story live from New York City tonight. Chris, good evening.
Tonight, Pope Francis is at the Vatican residence on New York's Upper East Side. He departs for Philadelphia in the morning after spending 40 jam-packed hours in New York. Pope Francis capped off his first trip to the nation's largest city in the place that's called the world's most famous arena, Madison Square Garden. He celebrated the Eucharist with 20,000 fellow worshipers speaking in Latin, Spanish, and English.
God is living in our cities. The church is living in our cities.
The Pope urged the crowd not to forget those who live on the margins of urban life.
Their children who go out without schooling, those deprived of medical insurance, the homeless.
The Mass was the seminal event in a day and a half of history-making moments. But perhaps the most poignant was the Pope's visit to the 9/11 Memorial and Museum, a stop the Pope insisted would be on his U.S. itinerary. He prayed at the South Reflecting Pool and met with victims' families.
It does mean something. It meant a lot that he came through here.
The Pope's day started with a speech at the United Nations, repeating the common themes he's known for: protecting the environment, putting an end to war, and lifting up the poor in front of 170 world leaders. Pope Francis seemed the most energized while visiting with Catholic school children in Harlem. The Pope smiled widely while hugging children and shaking hands. Over at Central Park, the pontiff climbed back into his Pope-mobile, where larger-than-expected crowds clamored to see the Holy Father. And once in Philadelphia tomorrow, the Pope will attend the World Meeting of Families, where he's expected to see some of the biggest crowds of this U.S. tour. Live in New York City, I'm Chris Pollone. Now back to you.